the music to We Nation Radio and We Nation Podcast. What's happening, everyone? This is Uncle Devin, the children's drum cushionist, and I'm so glad that you're here to join us for another awesome show. I have another great guest coming to you in just a minute, but just remember, We Nation Radio, that's with two E's. It stands for Watoto Entertainment and Education, and Watoto is a Swahili word out of Africa that stands for children. So we bring you the best in family-friendly global beats for little feet. And that means we got R&B, hip hop, funk, jazz, reggae, and more, all for the entire family and definitely for children that's age appropriate and culturally relevant. So you can also always follow us and listen to us, of course, on wenationradio.com with two E's, or go to Roku TV, Amazon Fire, Hey Google, Amazon Alexa, and more, and listen to music 24/7. No commercials. You don't have to worry about the content. All you have to worry about is your children having a good time dancing, singing, and having and learning while we go through this process. But listen, I am so grateful and honored to have a new guest with us today, and our guest is coming to us out of Cleveland, Ohio. I know one of our strong supporters, Carletta, is going to love that, based out of Cleveland, and it's funny that we connected. The voice, I mean, the voice is impeccable. The songs are creative. And one thing I love about what I've heard, even in her music, is that anyone can listen to her music at any time. You know, we know that there's certain times that there's content just for adults, sometimes content's for children, but most of her music is for the whole family. So please help me to welcome to the We Nation podcast, the one and only Mariama Whyte. Welcome to We Nation.
Good morning. Well, good evening, whenever people are watching. Hello. I'm so
All
excited to
right.
be here.
Oh, it's definitely our pleasure. And in fact, I just want to make sure people get a chance to know who you are and what you do. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Who is Mariama?
Sure, sure. Mariama is an artist. Mariama is a performer, a singer, songwriter, actor, producer. I also do speaking engagements. I'm an arts educator. I'm a very creative person. I love to be able to express myself creatively. And I've been professional for over 20 years, and I've been performing literally all my life, but I've been a professional performer for over 20 years. And I would say about a little over 10 years, I started really recording a lot. I have a lot of music in me, a lot of music in me. Before I started recording as an independent recording artist, I was on the road with the Broadway National tours of The Lion King and The Color Purple. And I had my son and eventually moved back home back in 2008. So I was traveling for a while, but I've been home for a good number of years, and it's been really wonderful. And I have a few musical projects out, and I'm just excited to share my uniqueness in my music with the world, for sure.
How would you describe your music?
I would describe my music as R&B based. I have a foundation in R&B soul music, but I love to merge all the other different influences that inspired me. I love reggae music. Of course, I do musical theater, so I love musical theater. I love folk music. I love jazz. So I would say that I'm a soul artist, but I have these other influences that I love to merge. So I'm pretty genre bending, but I think when people hear me and how I market myself as an R&B artist. But you'll hear a lot of different influences in my sound.
Awesome. And you mentioned you're an arts educator. Talk a little bit about that. What does that mean and how do you do that?
Yeah, so I have done a lot of different workshops throughout Cleveland. As a performer, I love to perform, but I really love to work with youth as well. So I've been in different capacities. So I'm a teaching artist in a consortium here called Playhouse Square, and they bring all the Broadway tours. They have regional theaters. It's a huge consortium of all the theaters here, of a lot of the theaters here in Cleveland. And they also have an amazing Department of Education. So I do a lot of work with the Playhouse Square here. Sometimes I'm in elementary schools and I do workshops for elementary school students. Sometimes I'm in middle school. I've also worked as a music teacher in elementary schools as well. So I've had my hands in a lot of different areas. Mostly, if I'm doing any type of arts education or teaching artist work, it is music and acting and combining it with musical theater as well. So I love working with young people. I love working with young people. I have a great time.
So, as someone that used to teach music in schools, especially in elementary school, why is music important to education from your standpoint?
Music is so important. It is so important. First of all, just as babies, there's so much music that we use to soothe, to excite, just as babies, need to go to sleep. You might need to put a little music on. There's so many things that music just emotionally does for us.
Mm.
And so as we grow up, what we find as well is that music is so great for learning as well. If you can increase your aptitude for music, you find that a lot of students also increase their aptitude for other subjects like reading and math and things like that. So music is not just for our emotional enjoyment, but it is also for our learning capacity as well. Music is so extremely important. It brings us together. That's what I love about my music, especially. I love to create music to bring people together.
Right.
And music is so incredibly important. The content in music is so incredibly important as well, not just the sound, but what we're saying, the instruments we use, the tones. It's extremely, extremely important.
Right. I remember Andre 3000 had his cartoon called Class of 3000, and they had a song on there called Life Without Music. And they were just talking
Oh,
about how life would be without music. And they said, we wouldn't even have
mm,
any ringtones. And somebody said, the phone
right.
wouldn't even ring.
You're right. I
They just
could
talk
not
about all these different
imagine.
things. And I was like, wow, can you? And yet they still want to take money away from school music and arts programs, which I don't know how
Mm.
you do that because music and art is life. And
We need it. We need it. For me, music, I mean, I didn't know as a young girl that I would go into music. I just I loved it so much.
Mhm.
And for me, people ask me a lot of times because I do so many different things, if there was one thing that I would always do, it would be creating music. If I'm not acting, I'll be okay. If I'm not singing, actually, I'll be okay. I of course have to continue to do those things, but there is one thing that I always come back to is writing music and playing music. It's life for me. It's life for me.
Right.
It's a beautiful language for all of us.
So talk a little bit more. I know you have such a diverse background in writing and acting and singing, but the work you did with I think with the Lion King and with Oprah and all, can you expound just a little bit more about that? What did that look like, and how really was that experience for you?
Oh man, let me tell you, when I moved to New York, I knew that I wanted to focus on musical theater
Mhm.
because I had this acting, I was a strong actor and I had a strong singer. And I knew I wanted to focus on musical theater. But I remember seeing The Lion King for the first time. This was before I had one, I think I auditioned for it one time and I had an opportunity to see it. And I remember seeing it and going, I don't know when, I don't know if it's going to be New York, I don't know if it's going to be a touring show, but I have to be in this show. It just emotionally moved me. The music, the costumes, everything was amazing. And probably about a year and a half after I saw that first show that I saw in New York was when I went through a few auditions, but I got the call to do the
Wow.
second national tour of The Lion King. And so I started in Chicago and then we eventually, toured throughout the country. And let me tell you, that was the most beautiful, beautiful experience to sing that music every day, the beautiful South African melodies and
Mhm.
tones and the story, of course, itself. I felt such an honor to be able to be on stage 8 times a week for two and a
Wow.
half years. For 2.5 years, it was and I mean the people that I met. I'm still very close friends, very dear friends with a number, pretty much all of the people that I started that show with, and we are just a big family. We're all over the country, but and all over the world, but
Right.
we are still a wonderful family. It really did. It changed my life too because
Wow.
I actually met my son's father on that tour. And so
Okay.
it changed my life in different ways.
Right. Right.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
one of my little mentees, or I call them my little adopted nephews, we grew up in the church, and he's probably about 20 years younger than I, but I think I don't know if he's currently still, well, before the pandemic, he was part of the Lion King ensemble.
Mm,
And then, I mean, he's been doing so many different things, but to have that experience,
wow,
Stephen
wow.
Wormley is his name. So, but let's talk a little bit more about your music. Now, I want to pull this up here. You can You got this new album out now called "Hey You, It's Me." Talk a
Yes,
little bit about
yes.
that.
So this is the title track of my upcoming album. So it'll be coming out this summer, and I'm so excited about it. So this is a single that I have out
Okay,
now.
this is a single. Okay.
Hey, yes. So Hey You It's Me is a single that I released last year, and the album itself is really, I call it a musical memoir
Mhm,
of my life, pretty much since I've been home. Experiences that I've had, just life experiences from moving home because I moved home back in 2008. I put out some music since then, but I would say from the past 6 or 7 years, I've just compiled different experiences and put it into song. And so, Hey You, It's Me. When people hear it, my intention is that when people put it on from the beginning to the end, that they feel
mhm.
good.
Right,
That they
right.
feel good. I am, especially now in the time that we're in, I am extremely intentional about lifting people's souls, lifting people's spirits. Even if the song is not necessarily a quote unquote happy song,
Mhm.
the way that I sing them and the experiences that I want to bring to people, um, I want them to just feel good. There's humor in it.
Oh,
There's
see, I love
humor.
humor.
Yeah,
I love the
there's
humor.
humor.
Yeah.
I love to be able to lyrically. I love to add things. I love to be clever with my music, with my lyrics as well. Um, and I'm also going to add a little bit of poetry in there as well. I don't necessarily market myself as a poet, but I do have some poetry that I would love to incorporate. And yeah, Hey You, It's Me. It's just who I am, the different experiences that I have had. And it really does encompass who I am as an artist, of course, but as a woman, as a
Mhm,
mother. I bring in
mhm.
all of my life experiences into this
Sure.
project.
And then I know that you have this, which I heard the other day and was blown away by it. This is a beautiful
Oh,
song.
thank
Talk
you.
a little bit about "This Is a Gift."
This is a gift. This is going to be on the album. This is going to be on Hey You, It's Me. And I just released this late January. This is a gift is a song about love. That love, whether it's between your friends, whether it's between your parents and children, whether it's between a loved one, it's about expressing your love freely with someone. It's a fun song. It's an R&B/reggae song. And I remember when I have a friend in Florida actually who sent me that guitar riff. He sent me those chords a couple of years ago. And it just put me in this place of, I told him, I said, if you have anything you can send me just that makes me feel like I'm on an island, please send it to me. And that's what
Mhm.
he sent me. So I wrote
Wow.
around that idea. And that's what I want to give to people, something that they can put on, that they can dance around the house with, that they can snap their fingers, clap their hands, and they can express their love to each other. And I love the
Sure.
fact that when I released it,
Mhm.
so many people, from different generations just love the song. I got so many text messages. A lot of my friends were like, I'm singing and dancing to the song with my kids. I mean, like that always puts a smile on my face
Right.
when children and really, really, really enjoy my music. So yeah, this is a gift. And I want to say too that my son, who
Mhm.
is 15, he took my pictures for that too. He's an
Oh, did he?
aspiring
Okay.
photographer. So I say, okay, well, take the pictures too.
I was going to ask
So
whether or not he's taking up any aspect of arts, but that's great as a
he's
photographer.
very creative. Yes, he's very
Okay.
creative.
And in fact, what I like to do, if I can pull this up correctly, we can show one of your videos. And I'm going to pull up the videos off of your website. I've been posting information about your website. And for those who are just tuning in, you're listening to this is We Nation Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Devin, the children's drum cushionist, with the one and only Mariama White.
Thank
And
you.
for those who are listening by podcast, she spells White, Whyte. So when you
Yes,
look, go to mariamawhite.com and you can see all these awesome songs, beautiful pictures, and videos. And let me share the screen with your um,
sure,
and we can just show me. Let's share part of one of these videos. In fact, let me close
sure.
the screen because I don't think that I shared the sound, and it won't be any good if we don't share the
Oh, you don't
sound.
hear.
So stop screen.
And as you're finding that, the
Yeah.
song that you'll pull up, it's called "We Be One,"
Hmm.
and the song literally is about us, as we as human beings
Hmm.
being one, being unified, and just
Right. Well,
it's a
we
fun
definitely
song.
need more and more of that. Now, is it in one of these videos that are showing here?
Yes, so the middle video in the top row, and I'm looking at my
Yeah.
son now. I did this video a few years, some years ago, so he's a lot bigger than that. Yes, and you can actually play it through YouTube. So if you click on it,
Oh, okay.
It'll have a YouTube. There you
All right.
go.
But yeah, check this out. Let's hope it works
Yes,
through fine. Okay. And again, you can find more information at Mariama White.
yes,
All right. Well, I'm gonna pause it there because I want everyone else to
yes,
go to the YouTube page, and in fact, we're gonna put that information back up. Go to the YouTube page. First of all, you gotta like it, you gotta subscribe,
yes.
you have to do all those things because that's what's important. And see, I love that reggae sound. I do a as a drummer, I always talk about using the ukulele, and I'll show them
Mm,
how to use the ukulele playing a reggae song because everything is already on the two and the four. I say
right,
down
right.
in Jamaica, it's so hot, they ain't got time for the one.
Interesting fact about Jamaica. My father's Jamaican, so reggae is a huge influence. So a lot of times people think I'm only a reggae artist because a lot of the music that I do share is reggae influence. So
Mhm,
I
yeah.
love reggae music. It just makes you feel good. Makes you
It
feel good.
does. It does. And but
Yes.
the thing about it is I mean, most of us and all of us are so diverse and we do so many different things. And
Hmm.
I grew up in the Washington D.C. area, and I'm now because go-go music is now the official music of D.C. I do a lot of
Yes.
playing. I mean, it's in my blood. I can't get it out. But of course, I do more than just go-go, but people associate me that with that, and it's okay. It's
Hmm.
I because it's my job then when I'm playing is to show the diversity of what I do. We'll go in different
Yes.
directions, and so oh, that was great. So let me make sure I share your social media handle. They can find you on all these different platforms:
Yes.
Facebook,
Yes. Yes.
IG, Twitter, and YouTube.
Yes, that's right. And also, I just thought about this. If they go to my website, mariamawhite.com, and subscribe to my mailing list, you can get a free song that's not released anywhere else. So
Okay,
just
that's
by joining my mailing list, so they can
all
just
right.
find that on my website. Yes,
All right. Well, that's so. Make sure you go to first of all go to her website at Mariama. I keep saying Mariama
that's okay.
White.com, and that's again White is spelled Whyte. Make sure you subscribe. You can get a free copy if you join the mailing list, and that way you can learn and stay on top of all the wonderful things that are going on. So as we move on, as we conclude, you talked about things you've done in the past. You talked about a little bit about what you're doing right now. So what can we
Hmm.
expect from you in the future?
Well, the album, if people stay in touch with me on social media and through my mailing list, I'll always keep them updated on what I'm doing with my music. My album will be coming out this summer. I don't have the exact date. I'm still putting finishing touches on it. Still putting finishing touches on it. But I also have a book, an ebook that I put out as well. If there are any single mothers that are listening, I have a book called Single Mother Soul, Reflections for a Joyful and Empowered Life. So what I'm doing now is just creating. I'm also doing online coaching as well. So there's some coaching that I'm doing for different clients. So in terms of what I'm doing creatively, stay tuned with the music. I'm going to come out. I'm going to also release another single before I release the full album. So stay
Okay.
tuned for that. Yes.
Right. Well, I am wishing you nothing but the best. Thank you for taking little bit of time and sharing with us all the awesome things that are going on. We look forward to hearing more from you. And if ever you need to share more information, just let us know. We'll open up the airways and let our audience know more about what's going on. So thank you so much for taking a little bit of time and sharing with us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure for me to be here. Thank you so much.
All right. And to all our audience, thank you for being here and just watching and sharing with us. Again, you can always follow us. Go to wenationradio.com and find more information about what's going on. We got a lot of things that are happening. Um, our radio station is growing 5 years. We just celebrated our 5th year anniversary. The only Black owned children's music radio station that focuses on independent artists. So make sure you tune in, We Nation Radio, and we, in fact, you're going to be hearing Mariama's music on there immediately. So make sure you tune in there. So listen, I got to get out of here. I'm Uncle Devin, the children's drum cushionist, and as I always say, just remember that life is a drum. So beat it.